Today we're going to take a look at the Motordrive unit for the Feelfree Overdrive pedal system. The Motordrive is an add-on accessory that allows you to convert the pedal power of the overdrive system to a motorized system. Once engaged, you use a small handheld remote to go forward or backwards on the water while steering with the 8-ball steering system. One of the unique aspects to the overdrive system is that it allows you to switch back and forth between pedal and motor power on the water to get the most out of your fishing experience. This video will cover the Motordrive unit, how it works, and how to install it with your overdrive system. However, a large component of the Motordrive system is the battery that powers it. This is a hugely unique installation, depending on personal preference, kayak type, budget, etc. So we will only be covering the basics of connecting the battery to the system. But for more ideas and help with installation, we recommend checking out the Feelfree Kayak Owners group on Facebook. The folks in there are extremely helpful and full of experiences and examples of ways to choose a battery, install and run the cables, and place the battery necessary to run the unit. So with that said, let's take a look at the Motordrive unit and get started implementing it into your Feelfree kayak. When you purchase the Motordrive unit, you will receive the motor, the controller box, the hand controller stand, and the connections for the battery. Before we get started, it's very important to note that we do not connect the battery terminals to the system until the installation is complete. Installing the Motordrive unit itself is quite simple. Start by removing the plastic storage pod in front of the overdrive unit. Remove the foam pads behind the orange tabs on the motor and slide the motor into place. Run the cables for connecting the controller box through the drive so they pop out the other side. Now, match up and connect all the cables for the motor unit and the hand controller to the controller box as shown. Do not connect the power cables at this time. Next, assemble the hand controller stand and install it on the Unitrack rail by placing it at the desired location and rotating the orange levers to secure it into place. You can install this on either side of the kayak that you prefer. Then, place the hand control into it by wrapping the black bungee behind the holder and sliding the unit into the holder. Now it's time to power the unit. Again, there's a lot of variability here between budget and comfort level with this type of installation that goes into how you set up your kayak for the power in this situation. So in this video, we're just going to cover how to connect power to the Motordrive unit itself. And again, there's a lot of resources out there on the internet to sort of walk you through the various options of where to hide cables, stash batteries, things of that nature. So let's get started. Before running power to the battery, be sure to engage the kill switch. Run the power cable to the battery. This may vary depending on the type of terminals you have on your battery. Connect the power cable from the battery to the controller box, starting with the negative, and you're ready to go. To use the Motordrive, pinch the sides of the motor unit at the orange tabs and slide it into place. This should engage the motor and disengage the pedals. However, sometimes a small turn of the pedal is necessary for it to click into place. Now, turn on the motor by pressing the small green button on the hand controller and wait for the screen on the motor unit to turn on. The screen displays a readout of the RPMs for the propeller, the current running from the battery to the motor, and the approximate battery life. It's also worth noting here that the kill switch should always be plugged in, or you won't see anything on the interface of the motor unit itself. To engage the unit forward, click the black switch on the hand controller forward as shown and rotate the orange dial. The more you rotate the dial, the faster the drive goes. Similarly, to go in reverse, click the switch backwards and rotate the dial. Keep in mind that the dial needs to be zeroed out or set back to 0 for the drive to engage after being turned on or off. Another great feature of the Motordrive system is the limp home button located on the bottom of the unit. This button tells the motor to use the remaining battery life as efficiently as possible to slowly return you home when your battery gets extremely low. As mentioned before, there are a number of ways to install the battery itself. The two key things to remember regardless of the option you choose are keeping the controller box dry and being able to remove the battery or access it to charge it after an outing on the water. And that's the Motordrive unit for your Feelfree kayak. Another amazing way to get out on the water and explore more areas to fish. For me, I like to engage the motor to get out to fishing spots, then engage the pedals to fish around, and then engage the motor to come home. But whatever way you use this system, you're sure to be cruising in style. For more information on the Overdrive, the Motordrive, or just kayaks in general, hit up your local dealer or head on over to feelfreeus.com.